Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Runnin the Paint podcast. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. I got 10 copies of Space Jam, all right? We're going to give it away once we hit 1,000 subs, so please subscribe and like the video.
Oh my goodness, Jackson,
It's so goofy.
How are you?
I just got back from the gym. Got my protein shake here. We're ready for an episode. Might be my favorite episode so far. I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah,
excited.
Jackson's had a bit of a good week over the last week. Coach Cove, how's practice?
It was
Oh,
good.
it's
We're
been
feeling
really
good.
good.
I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Yeah, alrighty. Well, we've got a lot of things to go over today, and we thought that to make it a little more creative and not just boring, we're gonna have little segments to talk about everything going on in the NBA over the last week. So first up, just gonna go to the news, the Run in the Paint news segment. Um, we've got to talk about the LA Clippers.
Good place to
Uh,
start.
Yesterday, the Clippers fell to 0-4 with James Harden after a home loss to the league worst Grizzlies, and man, oh
Ew.
man, things are not looking good. Where do we start with this
I'll
team?
Not
start,
Kawhi's
man.
fault.
Let me
Not
start.
Kawhi's fault.
Everyone, because I'm gonna push back on what everyone's saying. Everyone's just hating on the Clippers, and while I'm hearing it from the media is like they're preaching patience. Like anytime you ask Kawhi, you ask PG, you ask James Harden, what's going on? Did you guys plan to be 0-4? Obviously, they didn't plan to be 0-4. No one is happy that they've lost 4 in a row since getting James Harden. But
Especially not
at the
me.
end of the day, they got 4 Hall of Famers. I mean, if there's one thing that a professional knows, like in that world, I feel like it's to be patient and to wait it out and to not jump to conclusions or jump to conclusions and assume things based off of a short sort of duration. I think that I don't know how fine they'll be. I don't know if I would put them as my 1 seed in the West, like one of my fellow co-hosts, but who was
Why?
all
Like
on his high
why?
horse after
Why?
making that trade. He's like, oh, they're making me look really smart. They're 0-4, Jackson.
I didn't. I didn't.
I'll pass it to you.
I didn't expect James Harden to ruin this team's chemistry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I expected them to be
You think
better.
he's ruined their chemistry, like whole 100%? You're stamping that?
I mean, Kawhi's their best player, and he's pissing Kawhi off. And it's hard to piss Kawhi off. So like, I don't know. And I
So,
just don't like him.
so
I think
what
he's
I've
ugly.
what I've found interesting, mainly in the Grizzlies game, because the Grizzlies game yesterday, that was like okay, they're going to get a win. The Grizzlies have been terrible to start the year. This is going to be their feel good victory. And they
It's
came
called
out.
rock bottom. Rock bottom is what they hit
Yeah, they
yesterday.
hit rock bottom. Like, the Grizzlies went into LA and just outworked them for 3 quarters. And the main thing that I took away from this, and this is like the only solution that I think, or that they can do right now, because while I agree with you, Nick, that they should preach patience because it's been 4 games, like, come on. You also can't, like, you don't want to fall in too deep of a hole in the Western Conference, because then you're going to be asking yourself to play like in the second half of
Gods.
the year, play like
Yeah.
30-11 basketball to get into the play. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and
the main
they're gonna
thing
lose
I
Friday.
noticed was the 2 times where the Clippers looked good in that game. It was at the beginning of the second quarter, and it was the fourth quarter. When the Clippers made both of their runs, it was when Russell Westbrook was on the floor with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Terrence Mann, and Ivica Zubac. So I think that James Harden should come off the bench and lead that
Interesting.
second unit. That's what I
That's
think,
just not
because
gonna happen though.
at this point, Ty
Ooh.
Lue's just got to try anything.
Yeah.
You gotta.
I think it falls on Ty Lue a lot.
I agree.
He's got to figure out how to wrangle this team around because there's a lot of stars. We can already tell how Harden talks in the media like he still thinks he's a franchise player. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's not the franchise player. That either falls on Paul George or Kawhi. Westbrook is fitting nicely with this Clippers team. I think Harden needs to make an adjustment. Ty Lue needs to figure it out. But you're right. It's only 4 games.
I think there's 2 options here, and they're pretty clear. You bring Russ off the bench, or you bring James off the bench.
You can't start them together. You can't play them together.
And
Yeah, remember
the
what happened
second
last time?
question, I think, is the more important question, and I think the more unclear question is who's closing games, because I think one of those dudes have to be on the bench at the end of the game as well.
That's the
I
problem.
think it
Like
should be James Harden at the end of the game.
like
So you're saying you think they should bench James, they should bring him off the bench, and they should keep him on the bench at the end of the game? Because I'm starting to, I kind of agree with Jackson. I think Russ, PG, and Kawhi literally had, like, I was on the podcast talking the first couple of weeks how they were cooking.
Yeah.
Through the first 4 games, they looked
Me too.
like a top 5 team easily.
they looked unbeatable.
Yeah. So they were cooking with Russ, PG, and Kawhi. I mean, at some point you might be able to like allow them to practice for a couple weeks together off the court, like in practice, put those 4 together. And then if they're like building some trust with yourself, Ty Lue, like if they're building some trust with the head coach, maybe they could try and go back to that at some point with the 4 superstars. But at this point, you got to switch something up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt
Pretty
about
good.
it. I was looking at their numbers over the last 4 games with those 4 in particular. Leonard's leading them in scoring, averaging 19. Paul George is averaging 17, but he's been terrible. He's made just 33% from the field, 23% from 3. Westbrook's at 14, Harden's at 13.5 points per game. Like, it's just not really fitting. It's not fitting. And like I agree, one of those guys has to come off the bench, and I think it's Harden. Whether that happens or not, we don't know. But
That Clippers team is still very deep. There's no reason that James Harden shouldn't be successful and productive with the Clippers' second round of guys that they got coming off the bench as well. Like, you're playing with Powell and Mann and Bones Highland still. Like, that guard room is very,
What
very
happened?
crowded.
What was he like when he came off the bench the last time? When he
He's
was
really-
in OKC?
went to the
6th man of the
finals.
year.
6th man of the year.
There you
Finals.
go.
Like, he thrived in that role. If he goes back to that, he can rebuild his stardom and like rebuild his face in the media. If he takes it like just on the chin and like not
Right.
as like a punishment, but like way to prove to everybody that I can help this team win and be a very valuable piece to this championship contending
But
team and roster if he does it. But again, who knows
I don't
what's
know.
going
He's
on?
a
Who
big
knows what he's
safety.
going
I
to
don't
do?
know. He's not gonna do that.
Well, that's
no
the question, I guess, because is he the guy that the media is painting him out to be, or is he a guy who can buy into a smaller role for the good of the team? And that's basically what we're going to find out about James Harden here in
So
the
it's
next
time
couple
to
weeks, I think.
do it or not.
That's why
He's
they
got
might
to
have
do it,
to
I
put
think.
Westbrook off the bench because Westbrook will take that role. We've
Right.
seen him do it before.
Yeah.
That's the tough part is like, is James Harden gonna actually play for the team like he says he is right now and actually take one for the team? And
How do you guys feel about his system comment? Because, I mean, I see both. Like, I can see how, taken out of context, like, a lot of people would have a problem with what he said. But at the same time, if you're, like, an offensive juggernaut, which he has been in the past, you do have,
I
like,
know.
you do have, like, a certain system that you play as no matter who else is out there with you.
Look,
Yeah.
in Houston, like with Mike D'Antoni, the reason that they ran their offense the way they did, which I wasn't a
Him.
fan of how they ran their offense of just like
Hater.
threes and layups, nothing in between. The only reason they did that was because of James Harden. He was the system, and that
Yeah.
nearly led them to an NBA title, which is crazy enough. If Chris Paul doesn't get injured that year, they could be NBA champions. But it's crazy to think about it. But right now, like, we don't know. He could still be a system player, but not when you're with all these other stars. You can't be the system.
Mm. He could be for that second unit maybe without those guys out there.
That's
Even
it.
Even if
It's-
you
it's
put
a-
PG or Kawhi out there with him, he could be productive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't help either that the Clippers are super small right now because Mason
Yeah.
Plumlee's out for I think like 2 months.
Yeah,
It
he's
is
not.
fun.
He's out till like the next
That
year.
hurts.
Yeah,
That
like I
hurts.
saw it yesterday. They were playing lineups with like Terrence Mann at the 4 and like Mann and Leonard
Wow.
as like their big front
Yeah.
courts. I know there are reports
I mean,
that the Clippers are go ahead, Jackson.
They have a former starting center as well, just sitting on the bench. PJ Tucker. Just like to
Dude,
point
if
that
they
out.
did that again, they could do that again. But PJ Tucker's like 38. How old is PJ? He's the second oldest
PJ
guy in the
Tucker,
league.
for the listeners, PJ Tucker was the guy in that Houston Rocket offense that played the 5 that changed their style for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck, you know who else was? Robert
PJ
Covington,
Tucker.
who was involved
That's
in
right.
the trade. But yeah, I
They
know
just built the Rockets again, man.
Yeah, they built the Rockets with
And
Russ,
added
PG, and Kawhi. And
Yeah.
that team almost got to the finals, so
That's nuts.
that's I don't know.
Yeah, I know the Clippers are they're interested in Daniel Tice from the Pacers to
I
try
like
to get a
him.
That's a
backup
tough
center
dude.
in there.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be good, but like I
That's
don't
a
know
tough
what.
dude who's not getting minutes right now too.
Yeah, he's
There's
not getting
got to be
minutes.
another backup center that's better than Tice though for what they need. Like they
Oh,
need.
Bismack Biyombo?
He's on the Grizzlies. Put
That was a
that
great
number.
pickup though.
He has been good. He's been good for sure.
He get that second chance. He gets another chance in the league. He's like, yeah, let me go. Let me
Here we
do
go.
that.
Let me
Yeah.
cook.
Too bad they can't win a game still. Except
Well,
against
they
the Clippers.
against the Clippers.
All right.
Yeah,
Full
Man.
yes.
circle on that one. Full circle.
Yeah, so we'll
And,
see. So we'll see the Clippers. I know. Well, so tonight as we're recording this, they play against Denver in the in-season tournament. So they're probably going to lose that matchup. But then it eases up a little bit this next 4-game stretch. They play the Rockets, who have been extremely hot. We'll get to them later.
Mhm.
Don't worry, we'll
Mhm.
get to them
They only have
later.
2 games this week, man. I'm upset about it.
We'll get
It's
to them
true.
later. But then they play 2 against the struggling Spurs and then against the injury-riddled Pelicans. So they have a chance to try to get things together. But it's been brutal to watch them so far.
they could get back on track, or if they fall flat, it'll just completely derail them, and we'll
Do
be
you know?
right back in panic mode next week.
Do you know
This
what's
is
crazy?
crazy idea, right? I doubt that this happens, but if they like keep losing these games, what are the
Jason
chances that
Harden.
they fire Ty Lue?
Ty Lue might get fired by the All-Star break if they keep losing.
Which
is
would
crazy because
stink.
James Harden's the
Which
problem.
is Like I'm not. Ty Lue helped us deliver a championship to our city, but I don't know if he's the best coach. But
Wow, that's
that would still be a mistake
I think he
for
knows
them.
what he's doing.
He is the one who should know how to deal with this many stars.
Yeah, I think he'd just be the oh gosh, what's the
But
word?
right now, if they keep losing, if they don't want to keep blaming
figurehead,
Harden,
man.
he'll be the
Scapegoat.
scapegoat.
Scapegoat. There you go. Yeah. All right.
Good
So
chance for the Clippers though. I mean, playing against the title, coming off of the finals and the Nuggets, without Jamal Murray, a little banged up, took a couple rough losses last week, and good chance for the Clippers to rebound. I
They
think.
took a real rough loss yesterday.
Good chance for the Clippers to rebound.
yeah, for sure.
What
All
they
right.
need to start doing better is rebound.
Let's move on to the next piece of news. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder defeating the Suns 111-99 to move to 6-4 on the season, while the Suns fall to 4-6, and they also fall to 1-4 at home, which is crazy.
I've seen it all. Shea's a top 5 player playing right now in the league, like in terms of his stats just this year and how he's been playing, especially this last week. He's been ridiculous.
He has been ridiculous.
Definitely impressive against the Suns.
You think
Definitely
he's
an
just as
impressive look.
you got Joel, Jokic, and Giannis, who are all
Giannis
better
is
than
top 3 right now.
Shea. All right. Statistically, you said all right. I'm not gonna argue that he could be top 5 for sure. Let's just
Giannis.
keep going.
Listen, Giannis has had 2 good games. I'll say Giannis is probably like right outside. He's probably 6. I could say 5. I don't know. Him and Shea are pretty interchangeable.
Well, statistically, Shea was like the 5th leading scorer in the NBA last year, so it's same kind of thing.
Shea's a beast. I like Shea.
He is a beast. Yeah, but the Suns, man, they're 4-6. They shot. I'm pretty sure they shot something like 2 for 21 in the 4th quarter. That's why they lost the game. They couldn't make a shot. What have you guys thought of Bradley Beal since he's
He's
started
been
to play for the
underwhelming.
Suns?
Very underwhelming.
You think so?
Hmm?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
looked
I
pretty
thought
good.
he'd have a bigger impact. Like, I know he's like his scoring is obviously next level, especially when he was with the Wizards. But like, it was also a very underrated defender. I thought, and I'm just not seeing him translate.
Yeah,
It seems like the Suns are having problems on both sides of the ball right now.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal plays some Jackson Goglin type defense now.
I'm still very high on the Suns. I think they're still a top 2 team.
Oh, I like the Suns. It's just
I am
we gotta
less
keep
worried.
Wilson back.
Yeah, I'm less worried about the Suns getting back on track than I am about the Clippers getting back on track.
Well, 'cause
The
James
Clippers
Harden
are
just
more
wants
of a
to fire.
slippery slope. The Suns, I definitely can see still being fine and like making a top 4, top 3 run.
I think the Suns are going to make a move, though. I mean, they don't have a ball handler guy, and they're banking on Book right?
That's it. D-Book when he comes back.
They
I
don't have
think
a point guard. is
they
what
don't
I'm
have a
saying.
point guard. Yeah.
You know who could have really helped this offense? A
Cameron
Chris
Payne.
Paul type. Let me tell you, he would have thrived in this offense.
He
He's
wouldn't have
exactly
done
what they
nothing.
need to
He
run
would've-
their offense.
He would have been addicted. He would have been addicted to playing in the finals and then not made it 3 years in a row. That's what he would like on this team.
He's got a better. I think he'd have a better shot at making the finals with the Phoenix Suns and the Warriors right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, of course when you put him on that team. But yeah, when you look at the standings, there are a ton of teams that are like right at around 500 that like we expected to be like that we expect to be at the top of the standings like around the end of the year. Like just in the East, you've got the Knicks, Bucks, and Cavs that are all either 5-4 or 4-5. And then in the West, you've got like the Warriors, Lakers, Suns, Clippers are all 500 or below, basically.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense in the West. We said it's going to be a gauntlet because there's 11 teams that have been in the beginning of the year that we all thought were good enough to make the playoffs straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 4 bottom ones. The Rockets are playing really well, and
Yes, sir.
and the Grizzlies are not. So it's definitely still all messed up or mishmashed out there.
We knew they would beat each other up, and it's
right.
just proven how tough that West is. Like that, like obviously we always still think Denver's going to finish 1, but
Nope,
like
not me.
outside of that, like almost every position is up for grabs.
Okay, should we set a record straight? Jackson, do you still think the Clippers are going to finish first in the West? And if not, who do you have? Who do you have finishing first in the West?
He's gonna say Houston now.
He's gonna say Houston.
Oh no.
No, he's gonna say
Let me
Minnesota.
talk. The stage is
Oh,
mine,
yeah,
not
yeah,
yours.
Minnesota.
The stage is mine, not yours. Shush. I think Denver's gonna finish 1. Because we've seen what they're like when Jamal Murray plays. He'll be back at the end of November. I really hope and pray. For fantasy reasons. But I think number 2. It's tough. Like, it's too early to tell. I think, as a Houston fan, I think they'll finish. I'll say 6. Let me say 6.
That's still pretty high.
I don't care if it's high.
We'll talk
okay?
about we'll talk to them when
We'll
we
get
to
there.
them.
But I just like to point out who's number 3 in the West right now. Who's the 3rd seed?
What does that mean? We're 10 games in.
No, but who's the 3rd seed?
I can give many examples, Jackson, of heartbreakers.
1, 2. Who's the 3rd seed?
We know how to count to 3. Okay, moving on.
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Next piece of news. We learned today that Denver Nuggets head coach Michael Malone is signing a lucrative contract extension to become one of the league's highest paid coaches. Well deserved. Well deserved. Has been a great coach for a while.
Finally brought that championship.
Got him the
He's on a losing
championship.
streak right now.
We all remember he was an assistant on LeBron's early days, so we remember him when he was just getting started coaching.
Back in Cleveland.
I think it's very nice and refreshing to have an NBA champion who doesn't have a whole lot of drama. Like, every time there's a championship won, like the Lakers won in 2020, out goes Bo. Like, when LeBron was in Cleveland and winning and going to Miami and winning, it's always like, all right, where is he going to go next year? Like, where's the powerhouse going to move to when LeBron leaves? Like, with the Nuggets, it's kind of like, all right, we're just going to rock with it. Like, you heard Mike Malone at the finals party. He's like, or at the parade, he's like, we're going for 2, we're going for, or whatever he said, we're going for many more. It was kind of like in that conversation where LeBron was like, we don't want 5, we don't want 6, we don't want 7. Like,
that
Malone,
Miami, famous
I hope it
Miami
doesn't end like that. I hope they
or
get more.
intro.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. Now that I'm thinking about it, looking back in history, like the only championship coaches that like didn't have a ton of drama around them since like 2010. Well, no, even then, like LeBron. Remember, LeBron and him had beef.
Was that big 3?
Yeah,
there was
Did they have beef?
drama around that.
There was a little bit of beef. I'd say probably like, I don't know, Rick Carlisle with the Mavericks. Was there any real beef between them?
That was just such a surprising run. I think, that was the last one. Was like, man, no one thought this was going to happen. Congrats for them.
Well, because what usually happens
I guess
is like
Toronto,
a coach,
Nick Nurse.
I guess like a coach will overperform or outperform his expectations, and then he gets rewarded with a bigger contract in a different city.
Yeah.
So that's what usually happens. So it's just a little refreshing. Nice to see Malone sticking in Denver and keeping the
Yeah.
powerhouse.
Yeah, I
100%.
hope he stays there for a while. I remember one of the last big Denver coaches that I really enjoyed watching, who never really had that opportunity, was George Karl. I really liked him as a coach with those Melo and AI days, and J.R. Swift. Those were fun times to watch the Denver Nuggets. But he never got over that hump. Mike Malone is almost like a better version of George Karl, where I hope he stays, thrives with Denver,
Yep.
and continues to be a contender for years to come.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's especially good to see because like you look at like the 2021 finals when it was Phoenix and Milwaukee. We're just over 2 years removed from that, and both of those coaches are in different places. Or in
Right.
Mike Budenholzer isn't even on. Is he on a staff this year?
I don't know.
No,
I don't
I think
believe
he's
so.
away from basketball right now.
Yeah, he might take a he could do a Frank Vogel thing, take a year off, and then go with another team.
Hey, man,
Yeah, because
I'm
he had some family problems. Like, didn't one of his family members pass away
Yeah,
during the
that's
playoffs?
true.
His
That
dad
is
passed
true.
away in the first
Yeah.
round.
That is true, right?
Well, Mike Malone also just lost his dad too.
Yeah.
And just the last thing on that,
Yeah.
going off of Popovich's contract, which was 5 years, $80 million earlier this offseason, we'll have to just assume that Malone's is somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it hasn't been released yet from the time we're recording this, so it
Yeah,
should
I
be
think-
around that the Popovich contract, the Monty Williams, who are both high 70s, $80 million plus deals.
I could see his being a couple more years though, like 1 to 2 more years.
I don't think they offer more than
7
4 or 5
years,
years.
Are they
Yeah.
not allowed, or is that just like not a
It's
thing that they
standard
usually do?
practice, I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
I think Popovich getting the 5 years last year was like this is about the same he's gonna get.
Because like
It's
in
probably,
college football, like Jimbo Fisher, who just got fired, he's pay him until 2031.
Yeah.
And they just fired him.
Well,
They're gonna
that's because his buyout was like $80 million.
Which is crazy.
Oh yeah, like well,
Ridiculous.
that buyouts are crazy. Like the Pistons were paying Josh Smith for like 6 years after they bought him out.
I'm pretty sure the Cavs might still be paying Mike Brown, who last coached for
Oh,
us.
that's right. They are.
We still might be paying him.
That's crazy.
I wonder if we're still paying him
Mariners
from the
still
first
paying
time
Ken Griffey
he
Jr.
was our coach, or if it was the
No,
second time.
it's definitely the second time.
That'd be
but,
crazy.
Oh,
Or it's the Mariners. I think the Mariners or the Reds. It's one of those two teams is still paying Ken Griffey Jr.
it's the
and
Reds.
It is the Reds. I wasn't sure.
It's the same thing like Bobby Bonilla Day every year in July. Bobby Bonilla Day. Ever since like the early 2000s until like another 10 years, he will get paid $1 million plus contract or payday every year, and he hasn't played since like 20 years ago.
When the Browns have to buy Deshaun Watson out probably next year, they're gonna owe him money for like 30 years.
All right, moving on.
All right, moving on.
Final piece of news, which I guess is kind of a funnier kind of thing. Not really funnier, but like, so Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins was fined $25,000 for criticizing the officials in a post-game press conference. I love it when coaches do this.
Same.
I also do.
That's like our coach from Rec. Every time. Literally every time.
Dude, the way that I see it is that Taylor Jenkins paid $25,000 for a win in LA versus the Clippers on the following night. I mean, that's honestly what I mean. That going in there and blaming you, like he basically like just took his team's back. Like he went out and blamed an outside source for his team's loss. He didn't put it on them. And so when a coach does that, it fires up, it rallies his guys. I feel like when the coach, when you know that he's got your back.
Right now, they definitely need that confidence and that backing from that coach. And when you get it, it's definitely reassuring. Definitely gives them that extra boost, and that's probably why they whooped the struggling Clips.
Yeah, well, let's also point out that game was poorly officiated as heck. The refs were terrible. Like on the play where Jaren Jackson got ejected, he literally got hacked all over the wrist, and they didn't call it. And like, I'm seeing that a lot this year, like more this year than like most other years. We're like
lots of ejections.
Yeah, one thing I don't
ejections and like the refs, like the officials won't call a foul until they see if the basket went in or not on some plays.
Oh, the amount of times I've been saying, it's just been getting worse every year. They just watch the ball, and if it happens to go out and not fall in, it's like they don't want to give the and one.
Yeah, it's like contact is contact. Like,
yeah. And another super annoying thing is like the hanging on the rim fouls, like players staring each other down. That's what makes basketball fun. Like they give so many technical. Like it happened to Ant last night.
Yeah.
Ant got a technical because he stared. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Draymond.
It was Sarge. It was Dario
Sarge.
Sarge.
Oh, Sharch,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure because him and Draymond were jawing back at each other.
Dude, Draymond's been so annoying this year.
Refs
He's
are
back
having
to
some
the old
ego trips.
Draymond. It's wild to see.
Well, 'cause he
I
knows the
love it.
team
Y'all
is
know
good
I love
this
it.
year.
Draymond,
Oh,
he
but you
looks
hate
great,
on-
dog.
But you hate on another.
I
player.
don't hate on DB that often. I only hate on him when I know that you're on a special Dylan Brooks rant, and then I'm like, all right, let's tone it back a little bit.
Which is
That's
a lot. by the
that's
way.
very- that's
right.
very-
So
that's
I
very
hate on
smart.
him a lot because of you.
Listen, man, the Rockets are a top 5 defensive team, and I don't.
Yeah, what?
You can't even
Like-
do that because we were the best defense in the league. Nice try. Okay, moving on.
I'm not. I never said the Cavs weren't good defensively.
It seemed like you were about to
This
say
is
that.
not called the Rockets versus Cavs podcast. It's the Run in the Paint
right.
podcast.
No, it
That's
is
right.
not.
It's
Okay.
the Rockets versus the world podcast.
Let's get to our news segment.
Okay.
yeah, guys. Yeah.
All
guys,
right, we're
come on.
all right. Done with the news. Let's move on. So we can get to
News.
talk about a whole bunch of other teams. Every team's played like between like 8 and 11 games so far. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a good point to see if some of these teams are for real or not, or if they're just some big fakers. So
Yeah.
this segment is called
Phonies.
Contender or Pretender. I'm gonna.
Contender or pretender.
Da, 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 da.
That's right. I'm going to
Oh
name
my
a team, and
God.
these guys are going to say whether or not these teams are contenders or pretenders. So first up, we've got teams that are they title contenders for the NBA championship this year? These are teams that we may not have expected to be as high as they are to begin the season, but they've really performed well. Or teams that we expected to perform well, but have struggled a little bit. So
All right.
let's get started. First team is the Philadelphia 76ers.
Can I start, please?
Oh
Please,
my.
please.
Sixers
Go,
are
Jackson.
8-1.
I have one sentence that will just end this
It's
conversation.
one word that you have to say. That's it. Contender or pretender.
Yes,
That's the name of
that's
the segment.
literally
You
the
don't
name of
have
the
to have one
segment.
You have to have one
Pretender.
word.
Pretender.
Oh,
Ooh, okay,
pretender.
let's hear it. Let's
no,
hear
no,
why.
let me say my sentence, please.
Sentence. I got two. This is giving me Charles Barkley on NBA
Has Joel
TNT
Embiid
vibes.
ever
I
made
got
it out of
two
the
words
second
for
round?
you. Steve Nash, must-watch TV.
Has Joel Embiid ever made it out of the second round? No,
No, he's
they're
not.
pretenders. Let's not kid ourselves. They're pretenders. I don't care how good they do in the regular season. They're pretenders.
Is
I'll
that
go
all?
contender.
That's all you're basing it off of, Jackson?
Contender. Joel's never had a Tyrese Maxey who drops 50 balls on his
He had
team.
Tyrese Maxey last
He
year.
didn't have this Tyrese Maxey. He had Tyrese Maxey who was second fiddle to James Harden and Joel Embiid. Now he's not even second fiddle. They're both on the same stage, him and Joel.
Okay.
I'm gonna say contender as well, at least to start, just because Tyrese Maxey's balling. I don't know what else to say. They got the. Whether you want to believe it or not, I'm gonna buy into that. The James Harden kind of cancer to the locker room and chemistry. So I'll buy
Him
into
and
that
Doc.
little bit of hype. So now that he's out of there, and even he hasn't played with them all year, and they've been 8-1. Everyone thought they would take it down, like they would be even worse. And
We all
Joel's
thought
coming
they
off
were.
an MVP. Like, come on. Are you really gonna not put an MVP in the contending?
Dude,
No.
it's
No,
perfect.
I'm not.
The
He
script
can
is
do
written.
anything. He
The
can do
NBA
anything.
The NBA has already sent out the narrative. They emailed me to my inbox. It's Clippers
You got the
Sixers in the
script.
finals. It's Clippers Sixers. I got
What
the
in the
email.
world?
Man,
Oh,
it
man,
says Adam Silver
listen,
to Nick Kovac.
listen. That's the only MVP to never make it out of the second round.
Good for him. He's doing it this year. Contenders.
Ooh. Okay, well then the
That's
question is that
just
what
adorable to me.
team? Well, I guess we could talk about that later. Well, let's ask it now. What team then would not make it? I guess when we're talking about like Milwaukee, Boston, because
Boston's
they're the top
making it.
two in the East.
Stop it.
You mean out of the
Boston
playoffs
and
or
New
out
York.
of the
Out of the
Yeah,
out of the second round, if the
Oh.
Sixers were to make the Eastern
Twins.
Conference Finals, one of those two teams would have to miss.
Why? Couldn't
who
it
would they
be
beat?
Sixers, Cavs, Boston, Milwaukee?
In order to make it out of the
the
second,
second
round,
round.
you need it's
Oh,
the
Third
two
round
my
teams.
fault.
you
My
goofball.
fault. My fault.
It's okay.
It's okay. It is
Um,
It is Monday.
The Bucks are not making it.
My bet would probably be on the Bucks out of those three as well.
That's
Probably
crazy.
not making it.
New York is gonna make it.
So wait, Jackson, you're saying that if a team doesn't have a chance, okay, I see what you're saying. If a team doesn't have a chance to make it to the conference finals, they're pretenders. Is that your logic?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
saying.
at least for title contenders, yeah.
I'm saying title. Like
Yeah,
This-
I
we're
got
talking
you.
about the
Okay.
title
the
contenders,
finals.
yes.
I don't think.
Yeah, we're
I don't
talking
think
about title.
Philadelphia is a finals team.
All right, I can definitely see whether they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think that they're contenders.
I could see that
and
too.
the team, I would probably put.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's hard to pick between the Bucks and the Celtics right now as to who. I don't know who matches up better, to be honest.
I could
haven't
see
really-
either of them. Like that's the thing. If you're gonna say contender or pretender for the Bucks, Celtics, or the Sixers, I hate to say it, I'm gonna say contenders for all of them. Like any one of those can make it as the team now. It's a best. Like those games are best of 7 to make it to the conference finals.
Gosh.
It can
I'm
go.
with you, Joe.
All those series could go 7
Guys.
games.
I think
Those
I might
games-
be switching up my next take. I am currently watching the game, and Julius Randle just makes me mad.
Yeah, he's got to figure it out.
He makes me so mad.
Okay, well, I should have prefaced this beforehand. This is again all after 10 games. These are not predictions for at the end of the season. This is just right now. This is almost like a little progress report for all these teams with how they're playing.
Let's move on to our next team.
Let's
Yeah,
move
next
on.
team.
Let's go over to the Western Conference, and we have to talk about the 7-2 Minnesota
Contenders.
Timberwolves on a 6-game
Contenders
winning streak.
squared.
I think this team's a pretender
God. Here
because and I'll tell you why. They got problems that
What's
everything
their
gets
problem?
magnified. Everything gets magnified in the playoffs, and I don't know if they have the answers to solve because Cat and Gobert can't really play in space. When they're
playing great in space.
going against a team like Golden State, who just
Oh my God.
over a 7-game series, I got Steph and Dre and Clay.
I got the two big men against Draymond at the 4.
I don't know.
For Minnesota, I like what they're cooking.
I love what
They're a very fun team. They're one of my favorite 2K teams to play with. Like over the past 10
in real life
2Ks,
teams.
they were always one of my favorites. However,
I'm
I'm
not-
gonna have to say pretender. I'm gonna have
You know,
to
I'm
say
not
pretender
convinced
as well.
on Cat.
I,
Cat has to be their second guy, and he's
I'm not.
he hasn't shown anything to make me believe that he can do 20 and 10 in a playoff series for 7 games.
Ant Edwards is
Oh
an
my
absolute stud and future of the NBA.
He is the current of the NBA.
Goglin, quiet.
I don't care what you say.
Quiet. However, I am with that Cat and Gobert cannot. No, they're just not it. They're not the answers. They're not going to be able to. Whether they keep it along for the whole season and finish like a top 4, top 3 seed as they are now. In the playoffs, 7-game series, they're going to have to. Once you shut down Anthony Edwards, if the teams figure how to do that and like double him, and you have to have Cat or Gobert beat you, I don't see that happening over a 7-game series.
Listen, we've seen Anthony Edwards have rough postseason games. I can think right to the Lakers play-in game last year.
Yeah.
He was terrible. Now he also has his great moments because he is a fantastic player.
Generation.
I agree with you with the Karl Anthony Towns thing though, because he's averaging like 19 and 9, but he hasn't been that good.
You clearly did not watch the game last night.
I'm talking about as a full season. I'm not talking about one game.
I think the biggest problem with the Wolves isn't even Cat and Gobert playing together. It's literally having a second dude. Like, the Ant needs a Tyrese Maxey next to him.
Huh?
Ant needs a consistent second star, and Cat is hitter.
My biggest worry is when he goes off the court and Cat's having a bad game, or he's getting dominated by his matchup. Like, Jokic is gonna fucking dominate that.
That's the thing. If you put Denver versus Minnesota in a 7-game series, if they shut down Ant because Denver does have good defense, if they start shutting down Ant and they have to take him out, and Cat cannot contend with that team.
They faced off in the playoffs last year, and we saw what happened.
Yeah. I'm not seeing that changing other than Ant Edwards just continuing to get better, which
He's taken.
We love him, but he's not going to be able to do it all himself.
I agree, Jackson. He has taken a huge leap. I just think that they're unanswered. I mean, we got dudes fighting each other on the bench in games at the end of the year.
That builds character, okay? The Warriors fought each other in their dynasty. No.
I don't think they got the scoring to keep up with another team's bench. Kyle Anderson and Nikhil Alexander-Walker and Naz Reid are their next three off the bench. And those are decent three off the bench. Those are not great three off the bench.
You love Naz Reid.
Naz Reid has
he's
been really good. He's been their third leading scorer, which is crazy.
Honestly,
you wouldn't think that coming into the year.
Big in the league. Like let's be honest here.
But I don't love Kyle Anderson, and I don't love Nikhil Alexander-Walker.
What's your hate against Slow-Mo?
I just don't think that those guys can be number one options when Ant isn't out there. And if Cat's your number one option, that's a problem.
Here's the thing. You guys were talking about stopping Ant, and like when he's not on the floor, Ant is somebody that could play like 46 plus minutes a game in the playoffs. He plays like 38 a game so far this regular season.
What happens in the last 2 minutes of Game 7 when he's played 46 minutes in the first 6 games and you need a bucket and your guy is still in?
That's
what I'm saying.
This is a bad example because he's not going to ever have to do that.
I mean, we're being exaggerating.
We've seen what they've done against three title contending teams so far.
In the first 2 weeks.
In the regular season.
Miles said this part of this segment is basing it off of what we've seen so far, kind of like a scouting report.
Yeah.
Pretender.
They beat Boston, they beat Denver, and they beat Golden State. Those are three of the top contending teams in the NBA right now.
They can't compete for a title without beating a team in a 7-game series.
And I think they could do that.
And doing that 4 times in a row, I don't see that. They're pretenders.
Ant's good in the playoffs.
I guess I should stop with the forget title contender for a second. Though, does this Minnesota team make it out of the first round?
Yes.
The way they're playing right now in Ant Edwards, they can make it out of the first round, but not much further.
It depends on the matchup for sure.
It does depend on the matchup.
I mean, they got
proving you wrong. Me and my boys will keep proving you wrong.
By the way,
I
did get an update that De'Aaron Fox is playing tonight.
Yes, he is playing.
So, go Cats.
Next.
Yes, sir. All right, next up, let's go to, we talked about 2 of the hottest teams in the league. Let's talk about a team that has been off to a bit of a slow start, and we'll go back to the Eastern Conference and talk about the 5-4 Milwaukee Bucks. What do you guys think? Has this start changed anything?
Nope. Contenders. I could see them. I could see. It depends. What version of Dame are we getting? Are we getting elite playoff Dame, or are we getting Milwaukee Bucks Dame? At least so far, Milwaukee Bucks Dame.
I love their 3-headed attack with Middleton, Dame, and Giannis. And having another big guy in the front court like Brook Lopez next to Giannis is a very good recipe for success. The core, basically Middleton, Lopez, and Giannis have done it before. They won a title, I think. Then there's no reason not to call them contenders. I haven't watched a ton of Bucks games or film this year. I don't know how well they're. I think they're figuring out their team right now. There's no reason to be worried at a 5-4 record. I think again, we're talking playoff time, everything gets magnified. They're gonna go. The ball's gonna be in those guys' hands. Those 3 are gonna be taking, I would hope, 75 to 80% of their shots, and just looking for kickouts the rest of the time. So I think they're contenders.
I think, honestly, this might be a really, really hot take, but I think Drew Holiday for the playoffs is better for this team than maybe Dame will be.
That was the rub when they made that trade. Was there was some skepticism. You gave up a lot for a guy who's really good on offense and who has suspect moments on defense.
I think Drew Holiday is a top, I'll say, 2 to 3 perimeter defender in the NBA. Is that crazy to say?
No, a lot of guys have number 1.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
a lot of guys have number 1.
But I mean, losing that, especially in the playoffs when defense matters a lot,
definitely
more than ever, you're gonna see the Bucks might struggle with that.
And they didn't lose just him; they lost Grayson Allen, a couple other pieces, I think. But they got some other pieces. They got Malik Beasley's out there, and Jay Crowder they still have.
Brook Lopez has not been good this year. He's been okay defensively, but he's been terrible.
Well, he was about to be a Houston Rocket, buddy.
The Bucks have a bottom 10 defense right now, which is crazy.
And
Bottom 10
hold up,
defense.
if
For a team that was number 1 2 years ago.
even if Brook Lopez was on the Rockets, he wouldn't be starting. Not over
Why are
future.
we talking about the Rockets right now?
Nick brought him up first. That is not my fault.
I
my
said
fault.
Brook was almost a Rocket in the offseason.
Jackson, stop taking the bait.
I would
Okay.
also say contender for the Bucks. They'll figure it out once they get to the playoffs. If they can figure it out to keep a top 4 seed in the East, they'll be fine.
You want to talk about a coach who could get fired by the All-Star break, who's on the hot seat? You make a trade for, well, I mean, you make a trade for an All-NBA dude, and you start almost 500.
He won't get fired in his first year.
No,
They don't do that.
We won't know who's gonna get fired until after December, until the new year.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
If you fire them this early, that's just a dumb move.
Well, that's what I was saying. By the All-Star break, if the Bucks continue to be the worst bottom 10 in
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
defense.
no, but we won't find that out until December.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think they're slight contenders, but I could also see them being pretenders.
You're a pretender.
Can't argue that. All right. Moving over to the Western Conference.
Love you, Jackson.
We've got the 6-5 Golden State Warriors, who after a good start to the season have had a rough week.
Pretender, and 2 words: Chris Paul.
Wait. That's you think that's the problem?
Has Chris Paul is a curse. Him and James Harden, curses. They're not winning no finals. Sorry.
We're not, but they've made it before. He's been on title contending teams before.
But has he won it?
This is title contend. This is title contend. This is like finals.
I'll say pretender because Curry, like you guys said with Ant, Curry cannot do it by himself. He just can't.
That's fair.
And they have had Dario Saric as their only other person to score 20 in a game, and it was exactly 20. Clay's been terrible this year. Draymond.
Dude, their second three-point shooter, their second best three-point shooter has been Draymond Green.
Yikes.
That's not insane.
He's been hot recently, but yeah, like it's really been magnified like over the last week. Now they've played a bunch of good defenses. Like they're 1-4 in their last 5 games. They've lost 2 to Cleveland, best defense last year. Lost to Minnesota, best defense this year. Lost to Denver, one of the best defenses in the playoffs last year. And like usually with this Warriors team, it's like, okay, they're struggling because they're turning the ball over. No, it's because they're missing shots. They have the lowest field goal percentage in the entire league over the last week.
Yeah.
You know, I think this team is still a contender. I almost said pretender here, but the reason for my contender stay pick is because I think if Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga can play up to their potential, this team's going to be a lot harder to stop. I don't know about their matchups in the playoffs because you run into a team like Denver, like LA. I really don't like what Golden State has this year in terms of depth in the front court with Draymond. I'm not super confident or convinced that Kevon Looney is a starting center in this league. Not super convinced about him, and is he a starting center? Am I wrong?
I mean,
starting capable, but not you
not
want
a
an
title
upgrade.
contending team.
You want an upgrade.
No.
Right.
You'd want an upgrade, but I just go back. He was a starter when they won the title like twice.
When they won it, for sure.
So that's
my fault. Yeah, no, that's for sure.
That's all.
It's dependent on other guys.
Lead Bogut to championships, so
that's true.
Like if we're Cavs. If Tristan Thompson was a starting center for us, Looney's like the same player as Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, that's my point. He's not.
Yeah, but Curry's not the same player.
But Tristan was a starting caliber center.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Not now.
Oh, okay. Shoot, I was like, yeah, that's my point exactly.
No way, Tristan. Now.
I feel guilty after every time.
Okay, I feel you, Miles. Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have said that about Kevon. I'm sorry, Kevon. But I think it comes down to Wiggins and Kuminga for real. Chris Paul's been. I
agree.
Yeah.
I think Chris Paul's been fine.
I would probably say pretender, but it definitely could easily switch to contender. And that's only because, like Miles said, they're just not making shots. This team can get hot. They have two of the best shooters in NBA history. If they're gonna make
One
shots,
and
they're
two.
gonna live and die by making those shots. Like,
If Golden
since
State's
they're
gonna,
not making them, they're not doing so hot. If they're making them, they're easily a top 2 seed in the NBA or in the Western Conference. They can
Well,
be.
I mean,
They
yeah.
have that potential.
That's how you
However,
win games.
I think I'm going to say Pretender just because I think age is catching up to them. I
It
may
does,
be a
yeah.
salty Cavs fan, but
Nope,
I
very
don't
smart
think
man.
I am. I'm looking the eye test, and I'm seeing a lot of clips and highlights and film and stuff about them, and it's just I think age might be catching up. I think this dynasty
Steph Curry.
might be over.
I would love
As
to
much as-
see
Yeah,
them be the second 8 seed to make the finals, though.
that would be
I mean,
cool. That'd
I
be
could see
cool.
that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the age
until they
thing
go
is
up against
mainly
the one-seeded Nuggets.
the age thing has mainly been with Clay. I think that's more magnified with anything. Well, I think also the injuries too, because Clay, like when he misses his shots, it seems like they're always short. Like he can't get good shots off.
Someone said he's out of shape.
Yeah, you could say that too, but
He's been spending too much time with his bulldog.
too much time on the boat.
Yeah,
No, his bulldog.
he does like the party.
All right, what's the next team?
All right, next team. Let's go to the defending Eastern Conference champion Miami Heat, who come in at 6-4. They're on a 5-game winning streak. Contender or pretender?
Contender.
Whoa, Jackson.
I'm with you, Jackson. I got Contender for them as well.
If they get current Tyler Hero in the playoffs, plus Jimmy in the playoffs, plus Bam in the playoffs,
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Easy.
they call that a Hydra. That thing, that's Hercules' kryptonite right there. That's what you got right there. That's nasty.
Coach
Tyler
Spo. Come on, Coach Spo.
Jackson,
And
what
then
made you switch from preseason?
Tyler Hero. In all honesty, Tyler Hero, and I think Bam's taken a jump up this year in terms of his playmaking,
Yeah.
in terms of his defense. I think Bam and Tyler Hero taking that step up, and Jaime Jaquez has looked great for them. Like I think they got a lot of underrated pieces on that team.
They still got Duncan. They still got Caleb
Wemby
Martin.
started on Duncan last night, man.
Cooking Wemby.
They still got
And
them
it's my
too.
fantasy league, man.
Thank you, Duncan. I needed that. I needed the fantasy
Yeah,
points.
you beat me. You got lucky.
Bam, I think he's a title contending center. That's who I'm saying like with the Looney
That's
thing.
an
You know?
elite center. The
Yeah,
way
bro.
He's playing, he's an elite center. He's a top 5
Elite
center in the league.
defensively, elite offensively. I mean, what more do you need from your center? Jimmy's just saving his energy right now. He's gonna drop 50 a game in the playoffs because he's done nothing in the regular season.
There's so many good like finals matchups I would love to see. I would love to see, like I said earlier, the Clippers, the Sixers, but I would also love to see Miami and Denver run it back, bro. Because I think Miami's a lot better than they were last year, and I don't think Denver got any. You know, Denver's less good. So I'd love to see them.
Minnesota, Miami, Houston, Miami.
All right, final team, the Western Conference. Let's go to the Dallas Mavericks, who have been at the top of the West like the whole season, 8-2.
What did I say before about the Bucks? About defense? Pretenders.
Nick,
Let's not kid ourselves.
Pretenders.
Here,
They don't play defense.
I'm going to say Pretenders as well. They're having a great hot start.
I
Doncic
agree.
is playing like
yeah,
an
Grant
MVP.
Williams sucks.
But come the playoffs, you need to know how to play defense, and they do not.
Yeah, and it's not like Grant Williams gonna get his head stepped on again by Jokic this time.
Luka's never been a guy to win you a playoff series, and neither has.
Oh my God!
Yes, he has.
No,
He's
no,
won you
no,
2
no, backtrack.
in the
Two?
same year. In the same year.
Listen, Nick. Think about
Oh
this for
my.
a second. What did Chris Paul do when he hit the 3? What did he cut the lead to in Game 7? 42. Luka
Made a-
won that series.
Conference
All right.
finals with him as the best player.
I'm gonna go do some history homework. My fault.
All right.
I'm gonna stop you there before you say something like last episode with Luka.
Thank you,
We're
Jackson.
okay. Yep.
Okay. So we just talked about a bunch of title teams. Let's go a little bit further down the list. Let's talk about some contenders to make the playoffs or play-in teams.
Are we talking like top 6 seed or play in? For some, like, is it a mix?
Let's see. How do you guys want to do it? Top 6 or
Yes.
Okay.
Top 6.
Okay, top 6. All right, so these are teams
Thank you.
for the most part that did not make the playoffs or the play-in last year that have been off to good starts to begin this season. So,
Yep.
let's get started with the Indiana Pacers, who have been like one of the best offenses in NBA history to start the year. Are they a playoff team?
No, I say play in. That's just I think they're a playing team.
We're doing pretender or contender.
Yes.
Are they a contender for the 6th seed? I think yes. I think they're a contender for the 6th seed. They don't play defense like the Mavericks, but defense sometimes you don't have to play that in the regular season and you can still win ball games. Sometimes
true.
offense will win you games in the regular season, and I think Indiana's offense is good enough to contend for the 6th seed.
We
So I have them
we
contenders.
talked about Doncic. Like I mentioned, him playing at an MVP level. Tyrese Halliburton's playing at an MVP type level.
28 and 17.
As a dark horse, Tyrese Halliburton.
28 and
nuts.
17.
That's what he had last night.
Oh.
Oh, in a game.
Tyrese Halliburton is playing out of his mind. I want to say contending for like a top 6 seed.
Yeah,
if they keep it going. If they keep
I
it
can get
going,
behind that.
but yeah.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, I can't be mad
I
at
have
that
no
all. They've
problem
been great.
That's a top 6 seed. I
don't like them being that good because they're in
I
our
think they're more
division.
in the
We play them 4 times a year, but
I have
they're
them more
playing out of their
wrong,
mind
like,
and they've swept us.
top. I think there would be like 7 to 8, but I think I could also see them being top 6. So it's just like depends.
Let's just be real. You still think the Knicks are gonna get a top 6 seed? So
What's our next team? Houston?
They
up on
basically
Boston
have the same have the same record as Indiana.
Yeah, but they're up on Boston right now. So
all right, let's go to our next.
Let's get this over with.
Let's
All
get
right,
it over
next
with,
team.
Miles.
Next
No,
team.
I won't talk. I'll let you guys talk.
Next team, we got to talk about the 6-3 Houston Rockets. They've been hot. They've got some good wins.
Yep.
Gotta give them some credit, but
Go ahead, everybody. Go ahead.
are
Pretender.
they a contender or pretender for this playoff spot?
Pretender.
Pretender.
What are they? 6-3.
Pretender.
6-3.
They're definitely pretenders.
In the West, Jackson. Let's just be real. They're in the Western Conference.
I said I'm not talking. This is all you guys.
I could see them being a pretender for a top 6 seed.
Okay.
I'm gonna say they can be a contender for a play-in team, but the way they're playing, because they are playing well, but not a top 6 seed, not in this West. I know they blew out the Lakers. They have a couple good wins, but
they beat Denver.
It's not even a question.
This is not even a question.
I don't see them being a contender for a playoff top 6.
We'll see.
I don't even think.
I will say, like, I know my prediction earlier had them like second worst in the West, but I think they could easily get like a 10-7.
We all had them at 11, 12, or 13 preseason. They haven't done, and you can't move them up 6 spots in 9 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they finished top 8.
Keep that in.
Yeah.
I'd be absolutely
We're all
shocked.
on the same page except for the delusional.
I think he's on the same page. If he wasn't a Rockets fan, he would 100% agree with us.
Yeah.
That's the delusion.
I agree.
Is the
okay,
delusion.
Mr. Cavs are just not.
I hate the Cavs.
Nick wants to fire the head coach. We're going to talk about the Cavs.
I said I wasn't.
All right, let's.
Because I might blow a
gasket.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Might blow a rocket. All right.
I'm okay.
Orlando Magic. 5-4. I've been loving the way this team has played.
Top 4 seed incoming.
Whoa!
Oh my, dude. Bro.
Okay, so for the people that couldn't hear, Miles said Orlando Magic.
Yes, I did.
Orlando is going to be a top 4 seed in the East this year.
We gotta book it. Oh, I should do. What does Ernie Johnson do? I have the sticky notes here. I'll put like a sticky note wall of all the takes.
I need to know how Anthony Black has been playing. That's really the question I have when it comes down to this. Because I don't think with their current. Well,
really?
Hear me out. I don't think with their current level of play at 5-4, even with how well Paulo Franz and anyone else, Suggs, they've all looked pretty good. But I don't know how well Cole Anthony's playing, and the only way that I could see them sneaking up in the 6th spot is if he really takes it, really becomes a huge piece of that rotation,
Cole-
which I don't see happening.
Cole's been great off the
Has he?
bench. I mean, I don't know how much better you can ask for than 14 points in 23 minutes off the bench.
Bro, hold on. I meant Anthony Black. I'm sorry. They got
That's fine.
they got the same name in there. I
Yeah,
meant
Cole
Anthony Black.
Anthony
I
Black.
Oh, well,
meant I
Anthony.
meant my boy out of Alabama.
Oh,
My
well,
boy out of Alabama.
Anthony
Oh
Black
my
has been
goodness.
good. He's been very efficient, but it's like I don't think that the Magic rookies are going to be what determines this playoff spot, or if
I
they
think
get in.
he's a starting caliber guard, and that's my thing. If he can be a starting caliber guard by the end of the year, he's able to take the Magic to contend for the 6th spot. But without that, they're pretenders for me.
Stop it.
I think Paolo Banchero is
Not-
playing at like
it's-
an all NBA type level.
Oh
He's
my
a baller.
goodness, bruh.
Jackson, you say, or no, you're saying something else.
He started off so bad.
He's been great since.
Paolo?
But he started.
Yeah, Paolo's been great.
So bad.
Paolo's a dog.
Paolo is a dog, but to say he's gonna be an All NBA player is kind of wild.
I'll tell you what, I love the Magic's vibe this year. I like their jerseys. I like their courts. I think
They're
that
like the Raiders
their
right
team.
now.
I think their team is clicking. I think they're clicking, and
whole new team.
it's fun.
They play team basketball. Love to watch
Yep.
it. Definitely fun to watch.
They're very fun to watch. They're very fun to watch.
All right,
Okay.
final team we'll go to is the Memphis Grizzlies, who currently have the
Contender.
worst record in the league, but we all know
Contender.
that there's a certain individual that's coming back in a little over a month.
Yeah, in 15 games. What are they gonna be? They're what? 2-8 right now. Oh, they're gonna be what? I'll give them 4-21.
Really? See, I think they're gonna start winning a couple.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give them 8. I'll give them 8. I'll give them 8.
That's
8
double the amount you just said.
I thought about it for a second, okay?
But do you guys think that the Grizzlies are still? They still have a chance.
I don't think so. I think a pretender. I think they might struggle until Ja gets back, and who knows if. I think Ja's a great player, but if the Grizzlies do start clicking without him, trying to insert him back in, I think it might actually be a little bit more of a struggle too as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the math right now. What would a 6 seed need in terms of wins in the West? Like 45, 6, 7?
It varies by year, but I'd say 45 wins probably.
At least 45 wins, and they're 2-8.
Let's see. I wonder what like the Warriors were the 6th seed. I wonder how many they had last year.
Let's compare them to last year's Lakers.
That is a very good comparison because the Lakers only finished one spot behind the Warriors.
True.
Yeah, they
Yeah, I'll go pretender for the 6th spot for sure. Yeah, I'll go pretender.
Thank you.
For the 6th spot. I don't see how they're gonna.
Yeah, because they got 40. The Warriors had 44 wins last year.
They need 45 wins in 72 games now because they've already played 10.
So not gonna happen.
And I mentioned
they need
before
43 wins
because Ja's not there and they're not on national TV. They're getting some pretty. This is like the easiest part of their schedule now.
Right.
So okay. All right, so that is all of our contender or pretenders. Let us know in the comments what you think. Are these teams contenders or pretenders? Next up, we've got Nick with Guess the Player. Nick has Nick has 3
I can already tell
players.
it's gonna be rigged.
Let's see. So
3
Nick,
players.
yes.
3 hints per player. I got some extra
aggressive.
hints if you need them. Sorry, I don't mean to be. I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
Hype it up. I like it. I like the energy.
All right.
So I don't know why I'm getting
let's
yelled
get
at.
right into it. This first guy was the 2nd overall draft pick in 2012. He was an NCAA.
Just kidding.
He was an NCAA champion at Kentucky the year before, and he's never averaged more than 30 minutes per game for a full season.
I think I know who it is.
Oh, I know who it is. Wait.
Yeah.
All right, on 3.
No, let me think.
Second pick. Wait. Yes,
No,
yes, it is. It is. I know who it is.
Wait, 2012. Kyrie was 20.
Joe, you don't know it? I'll keep going because I got some more hints.
Yeah, give me another hint.
I was gonna say I need another hint. I'm not
I'm
thinking.
I'll keep going.
Draft.
He was drafted to the Bobcats.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. That's easy. That's
Oh,
easy.
yeah,
Well,
got it.
that's too easy.
What?
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Come on.
What?
Yeah, like
They the most broken jump shot ever to grace the NBA floor.
Looking like
You love to see it.
Nick.
you
No,
love
Nick
to
just
see
chose a player that shoots like him.
Oh, please. All right, no, we're gonna get. Listen, anyone who's watching this right now, tune back in, and like whenever we get a chance to get on the court, I'll post it on the page, and we'll clip it and put it in. Don't worry about it.
We'll live stream Twitch when we actually all play basketball.
Do we have footage? Do we have footage from when we went to Akron? Do we have
No,
footage from that?
unless you go to the security and
We're not
backtrack it like
address. Okay.
12 months.
All right. Next player. Next
All right,
player.
what's the next
All right, you
player?
guys will not get this one. You guys won't get this one.
Bet.
All right, this is a second-year guy. He played all 82 last year. He had a stat line in the middle of the season versus the Thunder, best stat line of his rookie year. He only played 19 minutes. He had 20 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. Versus the Thunder, they got to win 112-106. I only have one more hint.
Why do I think I know this?
I have one more hint. I don't think it's gonna help you.
Because y'all are nerds.
So this dude, his alma mater, his high school alma mater in Washington State in Seattle, they just won the 3A state championship, and he was a 2-sport athlete in high school. He played football and basketball.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I know it.
Tara Eason. Tara Eason. I already
Miles
said
already
it.
said it.
Is it Tara Eason?
Yeah.
Oh.
Miles, you were
Jackson, did you know it?
Yes, I knew it. That's why I was
How
yelling.
did-
I know
Wait,
it.
how'd you know from the football one though?
I love Tara Eason.
You knew that about him, that his team just won the state championship?
I knew he was.
I knew he was one of the few rookies last year that played every game.
Because he's the GOAT.
All right. Who's the final player?
I thought that was a good one. You guys got
That is
Yeah,
a good one. That
That's
is a good one.
All right, this one is not as hard as the last one, but I'll try and make it a little bit harder. I'll just tone down the. Okay, here we go. He's an international. He's an international player.
This is retired, right?
Damn it! Yes, international retired.
Yeah.
International retired. He played on 5 different teams in the NBA, and he was the National College Player of the Year. I can give you more hints. I have more specifics about those.
I have an idea, but this is probably just
phone it
being
back.
Has this player retired in the last 5 years?
Yes.
From international player or the NBA?
From the NBA.
Yes.
National College Player of the Year. I'm gonna need another hint, son.
Are you ready for another hint?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, I can give you his nationality, but I think that's gonna give it away.
No, don't give the nationality.
No, give it.
Or I can give you the 5 teams that he played for.
No, don't do the 5. Give the 2 teams.
All right, I got you.
Okay.
He had 26 double-doubles in his college year at I won't say where he went. When he won National Player of the Year, he had 26 double-doubles that year. And it was the record.
Played for 5 different teams?
National Player of the Year in college?
I think if I say where he went, what his nationality was, it'll give it away. So I'll say that he played 15. He had a 15-year career.
Can you give us?
Ooh.
Can you give us a year drafted?
2005. Which means he just retired in 2020.
How is this not hard? Are you goofball?
Ooh.
It's not whoever you just said.
I think I know.
I want to know who Miles is thinking. Miles, throw a name out, man.
Is it Joakim Noah?
No, he was in the running for my pick though. It was not him. That's a very good guess. That was a very good guess. That was because I wanted an international retired guy, and Joakim Noah was like my initial thing. So I'm like, I gotta make it a little bit harder. Let me get another guy in there. All right, let me give you another hint. He was drafted in 2005. This might give it away. He was drafted out of Utah. Not many big names out of Utah University of Utah, but he had 26 double-doubles, National College Player of the Year, 2005, Andrew Bogut. Oh.
Andrew Bogut!
I was thinking Andrew Bogut!
Oh, man!
I can't believe I just did that, bro.
I was like, wait.
Okay.
Andrew Bogut Player of the Year in college?
I think Australian would have given it away.
He was the number one pick.
Australia would have given it. I would have got that F off Australia. Yeah.
And he did
My
go to
bad.
Utah, man.
My
Yeah.
bad,
I
guys.
forgot he went to Utah.
I
That
forgot
one
he went to
actually I would
Utah
have
too.
Miles, you should have got that.
That was my. I can't believe that.
I should have. I almost. Oh my gosh. Okay, I do have a. I mean, I have a player in mind that we could do a quick guess of. We could do one more.
All right, bet.
Oh, I have one too.
Okay, we can each do. We can each do one.
Yeah,
I
let's
guess.
do. I want to hear
I have
yours,
one.
Miles.
I
Yeah.
have one.
Okay, let me see if I can get good
This
hints.
is fun.
Okay. Oh, geez. Hold on. Let me. Okay. All right. So this player that I'm thinking of is an NBA champion.
Patrick McCaw.
He has a brother that is also an NBA champion,
You stumped me.
and he has played for 10 teams.
Seth Curry.
He's not an NBA champion.
I want him to be.
It's a current guy, obviously.
Can you give us like a hint, like year drafted, please?
Said his brother's an NBA champion.
Yes, his brother is also an NBA champion. I do not believe that this player was drafted.
Marc Gasol. No,
The only
he
brothers
was
I
like
know
46 overall. Never mind.
that are NBA champions are Giannis and his brother,
Thanasis. Kostas.
Thanasis.
This might be too difficult.
Give
Well,
me a second to think, blood.
Give you a what?
A second to think.
Okay.
Bro, both
Jackson,
brothers,
I think
NBA champions, 10
Jackson,
different
I
teams.
think you could get this.
I know that I'm gonna recognize the name when you say it, and I'm gonna be mad that I didn't get it.
And you said undrafted.
Yeah, he's undrafted.
What year did he sign?
The first year he played was 2012, 2013, where he played with this brother that won the title.
Oh, Marcus or Marquise?
Oh, there.
No, wait, they didn't win.
No.
Stupid. Can someone like
The Jones twins? Or the Jones brothers?
who? You know the Jonas Brothers?
Tyus and Trey.
Holiday?
Trey Jones.
Oh,
no, it's
Holiday.
not the Holiday. Is it Holiday?
Justin Holiday.
Drew?
Justin
Oh,
Holiday,
Justin
yeah. I was like, wait a second.
Good.
I know the Holidays.
Justin Holiday's been on 10 teams. Jeez.
Yeah.
He's had a surprisingly long career as like a solid role player.
Yeah.
Kind of annoying me.
What
Wow.
could
That's that was a good one.
Jackson, did you think you would have gotten that one if you had more time?
Maybe if I had a little more time.
Yeah.
Contender.
Okay, wait, Joey, did you have?
I have one.
Bro.
It's a older retiree guy, maybe a
have one.
little before your time over there, but
I
I'm
have
hoping Nick knows.
Oh boy.
I might
No pressure.
Jackson
disrespecting
might
my
do it.
knowledge.
All right. So
Wow,
this
no.
man is a former two-time NBA All-Star.
Andre Iguodala.
Played in the NBA in the late 90s all the way through the mid 2000s, and then had a stellar career over in China.
China.
Dwight Howard.
He's in Taiwan. And
That
he
was
did
so
not play in the
disrespectful. He
90s.
said 2 All-Star games.
It's a joke, blood.
Who was that guy in the Heat? That Posey? James Posey? That's my guess.
I will give you one hint once you are ready for it, and hopefully you get
That dude
it.
might not have made any All-Star games, though.
No, he didn't. He's a cool
Shut
guy.
up.
He's a cool guy, though. I got to.
Bro said I got to meet
All
him.
right.
That's crazy.
Do you want a hint?
He's
Yes,
from
please.
Cleveland.
I wish. Nah, he has some very, very affordable basketball shoes that everyone was obsessed with. back in the
Stephon
day.
Marbury, baby.
Oh, nice. Starberry,
Bingo.
baby.
Starberries.
That was such an easy hint.
I
Alright,
know it
here's
was.
mine.
I knew that would
Here's
give
mine.
it away. I love
Mine.
Starberry though. It's surprising. I'm looking at these stats and Marbury he only made the All-Star team with Phoenix and New Jersey, not even with the Knicks. What I
Not even the
only
Knicks.
remember him with.
I have 2. Okay.
You have 2? All right.
Yeah, one's gonna be really hard. This one might be really hard.
Dude, I gotta go.
Yeah. After this, we got one more
Alright.
segment before we close it out.
This person went to Oregon. Played for
Dylan
the Oregon
Brooks.
Ducks.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
No, it's not Dylan Brooks.
Next.
All right.
It's not Dylan
Final.
Brooks.
All right. So we'll go to the final
Yo!
segment. So
You can do them next week, Jax.
yeah,
Thursday.
once you actually have a player.
Thursday.
It was Bobo. I tricked you.
Thursday.
It was
Oh
Bobo.
my goodness. Alrighty, so let's preview and predict some games. Tonight we got some
Get it.
more in-season tournament action, and I've got 4 games here that have really caught my eye that are going to be very entertaining. We've got the Pacers and the 76ers dialing it back, second straight matchup after Tyrese Maxey just had his 50 bomb.
Ooh, boy. He
Give
was
me
cooking.
Pacers. Give me Pacers.
Well,
I'll take
we
the-
should
I'll-
probably
I'll take
share with
the
the
Sixers.
viewers who the current king of the co-host is in our Pick'em group chat, and that would be me. I have the best record out of us.
Hey.
Okay,
let's just be
wow,
upfront with
wow.
the
You
viewers.
didn't even
Wow.
give him a chance. Yeah, we should fix me.
I've won 4 in a row.
We both went 2-0 the other night with the Thunder and
Yeah, I've gone 2-0 back-to-back nights.
I went
3.
2-0 with you the other night, Goglin.
Actually, so no, Nick and Joey, you have the same record.
well, I missed 2 games. I missed 2 games. How many games you missed?
That's
your fault. That's
missed
your
games.
fault.
That's 2 losses. That doesn't matter. That counts as a loss.
They could have been wins, is my point.
Yeah, but they
They
weren't.
weren't.
You don't know how I be.
They
weren't.
weren't. What is
You
that?
forfeited.
All right, that's
You
fine.
silly goose, bro.
Oh,
No, that
What's the
should be
first
fun.
game? Pacers,
That's
Sixers,
something.
freaking. I got Philly.
I'll
Philly.
go Sixers.
Crazy.
Okay. All right.
Give me Pacers.
He's got the Pacers. I'll probably go Sixers again. Well, I don't know. They need to
Yep.
lose at some point. You know,
Yeah,
I'll
they
go the
do need
Pacers.
to
I'll go the
lose.
Pacers. I'll go the
Pacers
Pacers.
got great offense. It could go either way.
Miles
right.
Turner is the beast. Oh my.
He's
oh
not
my
though.
land-
Miles Turner is like the biggest
Fraud.
one of the biggest disappointments of the year.
Fraud. Fraud watch.
Jason Tatum just tried to kill Josh Hart. By the way, he just grabbed him by the midsection.
We have the Spurs and the Thunder.
Yes, correct. The two top rookies facing off for the first time in their regular season
Does
careers.
not matter. The Spurs stink. The Spurs are stinky. Give me the
Stinky.
Thunder. Very stinky.
I think Wemby cooks Chet, but I think the Thunder are gonna win.
Chet's a beast. Stop it.
Chet is a beast. So is Wemby.
They got a combined weight of 100 pounds with soaking wet. So it's
Yeah,
not
it depends how Wemby plays. I mean, if he goes for
Yeah,
38, I think they can beat a lot of
goes
teams
for
on most nights. But
happening.
he doesn't do that. He only did that the one time, so I'm going
Yeah.
Thunder.
Yeah, I'll say Thunder still too.
I'm excited to see if any.
a night. So
I'm excited to see
Dort's
if there are
gonna be
any
guarding
like
him.
special moments that happen between those two, because I feel like those are two guys that are always going to be like tied to each other. Like I feel like later in
When
the
we
line
battle
when
the
the
Sixers
Spurs
here.
and Thunder are really good, they're going to be in the playoffs, like
LeBron and
battling
Steph.
each other each and every year.
Miles has a
Yeah.
big moment. They start fighting at the beginning of the game.
Dude, imagine.
Well, they got sort of chippy in their other matchup. Not really chippy, but like definitely going against each other.
Oh
like,
yeah, Wemby did.
a
Yeah,
lot
in
of
the
contact.
preseason. In the
Chet knows he's
preseason.
better.
I could see Wemby blocking Chet and then getting a fast break and then Chet coming down and blocking
Dude,
him
that'd
and then
be-
just standing over him. Like
Dude,
it's
those
just going back and forth
the
with
funniest thing I've
defensive
ever seen.
insaneness.
I think I have bigger muscles than those two, and I'm small.
Oh my.
You're
I'm a
so
pip-
small.
I'm
Okay.
a pipsqueak.
Next game is another rematch game. It's the Timberwolves and the Warriors, two teams that we've already talked about. Do we think the
You
Warriors
already
will
know who I'm
bounce
picking.
back?
Absolutely not. You know who I'm picking. Give me Timberwolves in 4.
In 4.
Timberwolves and 4.
I got the Wolves tomorrow.
I was gonna say I was talking a lot of crap about Timberwolves apparently, according to Goglin earlier, by saying they're pretenders,
Yep.
but
Yep.
I
were.
will say I think the Timberwolves will take this one.
I'll let it slide though.
I think the Warriors are going to pull it out. I think they've had enough of
Dude, you
playing
love the
bad.
Warriors, even though they beat your team up every year. You still love them.
We
All
beat
right,
them
Jack,
twice. I love all basketball teams besides the Houston Rockets.
I'm just not gonna
Then
react.
final
I love the
game.
Houston Rockets. I
Final
love the Houston
game.
Rockets.
Final game.
I
This
love you
is
then.
a pretty.
Love you too.
It's a pretty It's the Clippers and the Nuggets, of course. It's one of the best versus one of the worst since the
Denver
Harden trade.
Denver by a literal mile.
What if the Clippers won this game, though?
I'm taking the Clippers, bro. They ain't got Jamal Murray in Denver.
Here comes
And
the
the Clippers
cash.
got to win one eventually.
Denver by 50.
Give me the Clippers.
Denver by
PG
50.
for 40. PG
They're
for 40.
gonna win by a mile just to prove their mile high name right.
Bro, we're going to see you on Thursday, guys. And keep that same energy, boy.
We're gonna see you on Friday when the Clippers get manhandled too. Both times, 2 games in a row.
Oh,
Clippers, baby,
my
Clippers.
Oh my
Ivica
God.
Zubac is not gonna do a single thing against
Hey.
Nikola Jokic.
Hey.
But I mean, also we've seen Nikola Jokic put up 36
Gonna be in there.
and they still lose. So I don't really know what to think.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, do you? I think that's everything. You guys have any final thoughts before we
I'm
wrap it up?
confused on what's
Don't
going on.
forget to
on Nick's screen
subscribe,
right now.
like the video. Once we hit 1,000 subs, I will pick a random subscriber
Welcome to the Space Jam.
for a copy of Space Jam. I have 10 copies of Space Jam, so once we hit some milestones, I'll start sending them your way.
Facts.
Milestone.
Whoa. Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, leave a comment with what you guys think about, all that we said today and what you think about just the podcast so far. We'd love to hear feedback. We're just getting started with this. This is episode 5, and, we're trying to get better and better with each episode as we keep on going throughout the season. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Roll Rockets.
Bye.
Peace.